Thinking through the campaign. So people have registered, and now ideally the minute they register, we want them to get an autoresponder that says, thank you for registering, looking forward to seeing you, here's some details you need to know on the hotel, on travel, on when to arrive, on when to depart, on what to wear, on how to book your room. We want to immediately, once they're in the moment of registering, get them to also think about taking action on booking their room. What's the best way to make that happen?
So most of our clients are using Infusionsoft as the tool that they can do autoresponders with, but ClickFunnels has a autoresponder built into it. There's ways to integrate autoresponders and get a little complicated by using Zapier with your web forms. But honestly, if you are going to be going to the point where you're hosting a live event, you probably have a tool like Infusionsoft that allows you to build your list, track your list, broadcast to your list, things like that. The email that Barry's talking about, we call internally at Sage the attendee confirmation letter, and you definitely want to make sure that you have an attendee confirmation letter pre-built with a booking link for your room block, so that you can track your reg and your rooms, being that is really one of the biggest liabilities that you have when hosting a live event. You want to make sure that you're tracking it, make sure that you're reminding people to book their rooms, not just on registration, but a few days after they register. If they still haven't booked their room, you want to make sure that an email goes out to them. So we use Infusionsoft because we can automate that process. Some of our clients just have a virtual assistant who does it manually and has some emails in the can that are pre-written, and the moment they get a registration, they fire up their email tool like Outlook or Apple Mail, click new email, and send an email to the client. If you're really only talking about 50 attendees, you can definitely do it manually. Once you get over that, it starts to become
a lot more cumbersome than you think.
For sure, because answering questions and reminding people, and you don't know when they register. If they register on a Friday night, but then you don't actually check your email or check the form, or your VA doesn't work until Tuesday because she only works Tuesdays and Thursdays, or he only works Tuesdays and Thursdays, that can become challenging. So I prefer a little automation at this point because it allows you to focus on marketing and to focus on filling the room rather than having to deal with the logistics of sending confirmation letters.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think we mentioned some of the highlights that confirmation letter ought to have hotel information, primary airport, and then that room information for them to book. You can also include things about what to wear, what to do, pre-event activities. Sometimes even customize these letters. I might have a separate letter for a VIP registration or a client registration than I do for a primary general attendee, because they get access to different benefits and their start and end times might be slightly different. So again, as you're thinking through this, really important to think about your different registration categories and think about their experience from the time they arrive until they depart, and how you can forecast that, make it easy for them to plan their travel and take advantage of every single thing. You don't want to have a letter go out before you've detailed all of that, and then they book their travel. You announce something new that's pre-event, and people are going to come back to you annoyed because they've already booked their travel and they're going to miss the pre-event thing. So thinking through your schedule is really critical, and we'll talk a little bit more about that on our programmatic guidance call.